My name is James Leavelle, and I was 21 years old during the Pearl Harbor attack. I was on the USS Whitney, and it's a destroyer tender. In other words, we carried supplies for destroyers. Sunday morning, December the 7th, I woke up that morning and just walked out on the main deck when the first planes came in. They had a lead plane leading ahead of the group. When it come in, the boatswain, he had spotted that red ball. He said, "Look at that plane with the red ball on it. They must have been using it for target practice." Just as he finished that word, they dropped their bombs on Ford Island, and that opened up like a firecracker. And he said, "Oh, hell, that's Japanese." And he grabbed the phone that was nearby and blew the battle stations for everybody to get on and go to their battle stations. I was a loader on a 5-inch gun. It was made to shoot 25, 35 miles. I didn't fire a shot that day because if we'd have pulled the trigger on that thing, we'd have killed somebody over in the city of Honolulu. I could see those ships being hit and catching fire across from us. When the torpedoes hit the Arizona, it exploded. The big plume of smoke and stuff went straight up in the air. If I was thinking about anything at all, my mind was on the men that aboard that and hoping they could escape. From 1950 to 1975, I was a member of the Dallas Police Department. I fell in love with the work in the homicide division. It put me up against a criminal, our minds against each other, and I had to dig out of him what he had done, and it became a contest. I enjoyed my time in the police department. The President of the United States was making a visit to Dallas in 1963.
President's car is now turning onto Elm Street, and it will be only...
We were listening to the dispatcher because he's giving the motorcade's location block by block. My lieutenant said, "Well, they shot the president." I didn't believe it because I was just listening to him and he was all right. But the dispatcher was carrying on about it and barking directions and what have you. So I realized he's telling me the truth. About that time, the sheriff's department reported an officer was being shot at Oak Cliff. A homicide has to go when an officer gets shot. So I called my lieutenant and I said, "Who you got covering that officer?" And he said, "I don't have anybody." I told him, I said, "Well, I'll take it." As a result of me going out and being assigned the murder of Officer Tippett, any prisoners that was arrested connected with his murder was also assigned to me. In fact, one of the first who was brought in was Lee Harvey Oswald. He was very polite and answered my questions. When I asked him about shooting Tippett, he said, "I didn't shoot anybody." When I found out that he was going to be suspect in the presidency murder, I found out why he said anybody. On Sunday, the 24th, we were beginning to transfer Lee Harvey Oswald to the Dallas County Jail. We had so many threats called in. They was going to take Oswald away from us and do all sorts of bad things to him. I said, what I'm going to do is just handcuff myself to him. So if they take him, they got to take me, and I'm not going to go willingly. Just as we was getting ready to go down, I told him, "And Lee, if anybody shoots at you, I hope they're as good a shot as you are." He kind of laughed. He said, "Oh, nobody's going to shoot at me." As we walked into the basement, I saw Jack Ruby. He was standing in the crowd of reporters and police officers. He had the pistol in his left hand pressed against his leg. I was able to reach across and catch him by the shoulder because I had jerked on Oswald trying to pull him behind me, and I was pulling him towards me. He switched the gun over to his right hand and pulled the trigger.
He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot. There's a man with a gun. It's absolute panic.
Bob Jackson snapped a photo of Lee Harvey Oswald and myself, which won a Pulitzer Prize, and it has been printed more than any other Pulitzer Prize picture. I've been involved in two historical events that people still remember. and they both happened on a Sunday. I was lucky to be a survivor, and I was just doing a job in both places.
USS Enterprise had proven her steel at the Battle of Midway. But the Big E is about to face her greatest challenge yet: invasion at a place called Guadalcanal.